Facing a deepening humanitarian crisis, some Los Angeles officials now asking Governor Gavin Newsom to declare a state of emergency in California, which has the largest homeless population in the country. Steve Hilton is here with us now, host of The Next Revolution on Fox News Channel, author of Positive Populism, and he's based out west on the left coast, as we say. And this has been a problem, Steve, for a long time, obviously. Would declaring a state of emergency help to solve any of the problems? What do you think?
I don't think so. Let's just note, though, that the fact that they're even calling for it and discussing it, that's interesting. And I do think that something's changed in the last couple of months even. You know, I've been here 7 years now, and this problem's been getting worse and worse over that period. I'm based in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco is a total disaster. Los Angeles as well. I think a combination of people just saying we can't put up with this anymore. You just hear it on the way people talk about it on the local radio. They say you just can't live like this. Right. Plus, recently, President Trump shining a spotlight on it, really embarrassing the officials here. They are taking it more seriously, but the fundamental problem, and this is why I don't think a state of emergency will really do anything unless they confront it, is that they refuse to do the things that need to be done, which is, first of all, make sure that you actually put the people who need the help on the two big issues, which are drugs and mental health. Most of the people living on the streets have either one or both of those problems. You've got to get them into mandatory treatment for those things, and they refuse to do that. If this isn't part of a state of emergency, I don't see how it's going to make any difference in the long term.
Right. We flashed up, and you're right to point out it's not just Los Angeles. Some numbers there. San Francisco, I think I saw numbers where homelessness is up, and it already was high, something like 30% just in the last couple of years. While you're here, Steve, I want to talk about the economy a little bit more broadly around the country. We had this, and it was our lead story on the show today, as a matter of fact. This manufacturing data came in earlier. It was weak. It was weak, and the stock market slumped down 340-plus points on the Dow, and it looks like the trade war with China is having an impact, as we expected that it might. But I think the larger kind of political question, and I'd be curious to see what you think of it, is the economy's always, as you know, that's been President Trump's calling card. Even when things are tough, you can say, we've done well in the economy, we've cut taxes, cut regulations, stock market's done well, all of that. What if it really is turning south? What impact do you think it'll have on his reelection chances as you observe it now?
Well, I think it's a really big part of any election, and I think particularly here because he's made it such a big theme and he's had such great success. And I think that we've got to focus on the simple central reason for that, and that is the jobs story. Not just because we have record numbers of people in employment, record low unemployment. It's also that everyone else has seen their incomes rise, particularly at the lower end. So that gives people more money to spend. And the engine of this economic growth we've seen has been consumer spending. That's over 2/3 of the economy. You've got to keep that going. Now, what I don't think you can do is just sit back and assume that that's going to happen. As you said, the numbers are coming in disappointingly. So I think that the administration needs to look very carefully at active measures to keep it going. I think top of that list, because of their focus on jobs, should be a payroll tax cut, both for people, for employees and for employers, people who employ people. Now, you may say you got to get that through Congress, and yes, you do. But I think in an election year, if the president puts that forward, is Nancy Pelosi really going to block a payroll tax cut in an election year? I think that is where they should put their energy.
And at the very least, if she does, it would give you something to run on then, saying that she blocked it, I suppose.
Exactly.
Well, Steve, it's always good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Steve Hilton.
Thanks, Connell. See you soon.